That's the trick, right, guys? You know, do a job, get paid for it, and then destroy everything afterwards, and then it's all right. Hello everybody, Mr. Stixman here, and welcome back to Career Mode in Stormworks. In today's video, we are going to deliver our very first container using this quadcopter, but as you may notice, I've actually upgraded it behind the scenes. I've done a lot of work, and maybe it's not finished, but it is actually ready now to transport a single container. Let's go into the workbench first, have a look at what I've done to it, and then we'll fuel up, attach it to a container, and make some money. Let's go. Okay then, and first of all, we have twin exhausts for each engine, and hopefully that's going to prevent smoke from, you know, getting in our line of sight and causing problems with visibility, so that's pretty handy. We have some very basic air intakes here going straight from the intake into the engine. There's no pipe work in between them. And then here we have the cooling. Now I've gone for liquid cooling, well specifically water cooling in this build, because radiators just aren't good enough, and these engines do catch fire and they get very, very hot if we use just ordinary radiators. So how this works, and actually if I just paint the whole thing white for a minute, it'd be much easier to see. So we'll get replace color, click white, and then there we go. It's much easier to see now, I think. So cooling in and out are these top and bottom pipes here. They go straight into some fluid ports inside this sort of chamber here. It's very small inside, but that's all you need. And then in between them is a fluid spawner. And that is just set to water, so of course it's going to spawn water into this enclosed area for us for free when you spawn it in. Now I didn't actually realise this, but in career mode you can actually spawn water for free inside your vehicle. But I don't believe it's the same for diesel and jet fuel. You can select those of course in the block, as you can see here. Diesel, jet fuel or empty, but I believe only water is the actual one that works in career mode. But custom mode of course you can choose whatever you want. So we have two of those chambers, one for each engine, and then this pipe in the middle of them is actually for the fuel. So that's routed round the back and you know, around here into the front of the fuel tanks. And we've got two of those, two large tanks here. There's a lot of space here if we want to add extra fuel. We could add at least one more of these big tanks and maybe a couple of medium ones, you know. So that's enough, I think, for smaller journeys up to about 30 kilometers. Moving along to the overall structure of this thing, you can see that I've now added a frame which goes over the top as well. And there's no sort of special reason for that. It will help actually to protect the battery and the engines a little bit if it does, you know, get something contacting it from above or if it flips over. But really the main point is that it just looks a bit better. It looks a bit more complete now. And also you can attach, you know, lights to it or any other kind of equipment. There's just more space to attach things to if we want in the future. But I thought I'd just stick with that design for now, and yeah, I think it's it looks better than it did anyway, at the least. Moving around to the seat then, we've got lots of equipment here, fire extinguisher, welding torch, we've got some first aid stuff down here, as you can see there, and then I think they are night vision binoculars on the other side. I've also got this panel on a pivot as well, so when we spawn it in, it's going to tilt forwards a bit and just it'll just look better and enable us to see them a bit better as well. You know, all of the engine displays are there. We've got fuel, battery, compass, that kind of stuff, generator as well. So that's all really helpful. That should be everything that we need for now, but again, we can always add more to that in the future if we want. Here are the gearboxes. Now I did actually manage to sort of include them in the walls here, so they are visible but they're not in the way. They're not sort of taking up extra room, if you like, because I want all of these components kind of on view, but I don't want them to be messy at all, and it's just the balance of doing that really. But yeah, looking good so far, I think. Now onto some viewer suggestions, because you guys have been really helpful and a few of you have given me some tips here, so let's get into those. Now first of all, Wim, thank you so much. You suggested to change this kind of, what would you call it, some kind of frame for connecting containers anyway, and you suggested to, instead of having the X, have two V shapes as well, which I thought was a really cool idea, just to break it up a bit and make it look more interesting. So I went with this design here. And you also suggested to put some pistons for suspension, which is another fantastic idea, and I haven't done that yet. One of the reasons is that they're quite heavy. They weigh 20 each, which is not, you know, it's not a huge weight, But I thought what I'd do is try carrying one container first and just see if the weight is fine. And if it is, we can always add suspension. Also, if we start damaging containers because there's no sort of give in the system, we might need to add them for protection of us and the containers as well. So yeah, we'll bear that in mind. We still might add some piston suspension, but I just haven't done it yet, just in case it's unnecessary weight. But thank you so much, Wim, for your suggestions, and that's going to definitely improve our build here. And next we had Agrafini helping out with the tail rotors here. So if you might remember from before, I had a function block which was sort of switching around one of the rotors in order to make them send air the same direction, and therefore we can yaw properly. But in actual fact, Agrafini has said that we didn't need to use a function block to do that. So I've done away with it. It's completely gone now, and we now have 2 properly working tail rotors. I think the problem was that I put them in when I had symmetry mode on, and of course that messed everything up. But I'll tell you what, since then I've tried to do this again without a function block, and I just cannot reproduce the same good result there. I don't know what it is. It's so confusing. So in the end, like it saves me time to use the function block, but I wish I didn't have to. It's just way too confusing. so yeah. Anyway, we achieved it. So thank you very much, Agrafini, for that, and I really appreciate that because it's a much cleaner look without the function block, and it saves a bit of time as well. You know, putting extra blocks in and stuff like that. And then similar to that with these rotors here, another really good tip from Sengir, who said that on a real quadcopter, the actual rotors were not, well, they don't all spin the same way. So I'll actually spawn this in a minute and show you guys. But essentially, the 2 rotors at the front here, the one on the right is going to turn counterclockwise, and the one on the left is going to turn clockwise. Then similar at the back as well, except the one on the left is going to turn counterclockwise, and the one on the right will turn clockwise instead. And I also looked up how real quadcopters work, and a lot of the diagrams, in fact pretty much every single diagram, had the same rotor direction that I've set up here, and it hopefully will stop us just from spinning around gradually as we're hovering. Thank you very much, Sengir, for that one. But you know what? I reckon that's everything. I think that's everything that I've changed. So I don't know. I don't know what colour I'm going to keep this yet. I did make it dark grey. I might keep it like that for now. Let's spawn it in now and see if we can deliver our container. So I'm going to show you how I spawn this in, because it's not how I was doing it before. Right then, here we go, and as you can see, I've got this platform here on the floats. It's the same as before, except it's now separate to the quadcopter, and it's got a platform in the middle instead. So the idea here is that if you spawn one thing in and then very quickly try to spawn something else, you can actually spawn 2 vehicles into a build area at the same time. But you have to do it really quickly, otherwise it doesn't work. So let me show you how to do this over here. We're going to take this away again into the workbench, alright, and then I'm going to very quickly spawn it and then go right back into the workbench again and spawn the next one. Okay, there we go. So now the platform is there and it's floating, but I went back into the workbench and look at that, it hasn't returned. It's still in the water. So now we can go and get our quadcopter as well. There we are. So just in case, what I'm going to do is actually move the quadcopter up into the sky a bit, just in case it spawns sort of inside the platform and everything blows up. So yeah, if we just raise it up a bit, it should fall down onto it, no problem at all. Let's go. It will also give you this message here: there is already a vehicle in the edit zone. Are you sure you would like to spawn this vehicle? And of course, that is what we want to do. And look at that. Now, the reason I've done that instead of spawning in the platform with the quadcopter as a separate body in the same build, what happens is if you go too far away from the platform, in that case, your quadcopter will actually despawn. And so, yeah, I did a test on it, and basically I got like 2 kilometers and then it just disappeared and I ended up plummeting towards the earth. And then, of course, if we did that in career mode, we would die pretty much instantly from a good height. So that's why I'm spawning in these things separately here, and we should be fine. But now, what we could do is actually refuel it and then get on our way. And the container we're going to deliver is that green one just up there. So it goes to Terminal Komodo, which is, we are here at the moment on the map, okay, North Harbour. And we're going to fly all the way over to Terminal Komodo here. And this is where we are delivering our container to this dock right here. And then if we're lucky, we'll actually find another container there, which we can take back for even more money, as long as everything goes all right. So let's get on with it. As normal then, we'll just grab the hose here, attach it to our pump, and we don't need to actually press the hose out button as far as I know. I might do a bit just to help us. And then everything should be fine. Try and jump onto the platform from here. Just about made it, and then we'll come around here, connect it up. That was weird. I just heard the winch noise for a second, then it stopped again. Very strange. Anyway, let's go and have a look at our fuel dial, and hopefully it is filling up to the top. There we go. And it should take about 1,400 litres of diesel. So even if we use the whole tank, you know, it's not that expensive. I mean, the container we're delivering today, I think only pays us about 5,000. So, you know, it's not going to give us a huge profit, but it will give us a profit. And hopefully we're not going to use all the diesel anyway. But the fuel capacity might have to be expanded in the future. Let's go and grab this fuel hose then, because it's already filled to the top. There we are. And we'll just take it back and then we'll take off. Okay then, I went to sleep as well, by the way. So now it's mid-morning and we should have a whole day of sunlight ahead of us. And one thing I do have to do before we go on board there is go up to our container and just turn on the connectors up top so that we can actually attach to it. Otherwise that won't work. And I'll just show you as well that this is going to Terminal Komodo and it gives us $5,000 as a reward. We'll just switch this button up here. The light's gone green. Now we are able to attach to it. And then we'll head back into the quadcopter and get started. Okay, the moment of truth. Is it going to work? First of all, we've got the diesel engines to start up here. They're going just fine. There's our generation at the moment. We can increase that massively if we need to. Well, to about 280. It's about 164, 165 at the moment. There's our fuel. We better get started straight away. So this throttle lever will do the rotors. Lovely. Some of them take a while to spin up there. That's it. Everything's good to go. Now let's take off and go and get our container. Alright, yes. But yeah, I've got to put auto hover on just in case. It's probably a safe idea, isn't it? So now auto hover is on. And luckily we can see our connection points from this position here. So ideally we could do this in first person mode. But we do have to be very careful, of course. Still doesn't mean it's easy. It just, just means we can do it. So moving down. And we don't want to attach the front ones to the back connectors. That would not be a good idea. Let's go forwards a bit. And just about see it underneath there. Okay, nice and easy. Going to be really gentle here, and hopefully we won't break anything. Go on, easy does it. Right, forwards a bit. Getting there, aren't we? Go on, down you go. Yeah, nearly there. We'll actually come to rest on the container for a moment and then get our bearings. Alright, so we're going to go counterclockwise a bit and forwards a bit. There, we're connected. Look at that, guys. Yes, no damage, I don't think. No damage at all, but before we waste too much fuel and power, in fact, let's just check the battery is full, and also fuel is doing really well at the moment. Let's go. Now, actually, we're facing east at the moment, and we need to go west, so we're going to turn around 180 degrees and a little bit north of that, and we'll end up at Terminal Komodo. But we should be able to see it before we actually leave the land of the Isles of Sawyer. So hopefully, you know, we won't really get lost, ideally. But we will keep an eye on that compass. And yeah, look at that. It's working really well so far. Now the battery, if we just have a look at the battery here, you see that it is a bit lower, but that's only because I'm using, you know, pitch and collective and stuff. If I let go of the controls, it'll actually charge a bit faster. But it is going down, look. So let's just spin up the generators a little bit more. And ideally, it's going to stay at or around 100%. But we'll keep an eye on that. Yeah, I can add a lot more generation if I need to. Yeah, that's still going down, isn't it? Let's just add a bit more there. Let's have a look at the generators. 234 at the moment. Yeah, it's going up now, look. That's very nice. Anyway, let's go. So I'm not experiencing any issues at all at the moment. Nice and easy to fly. I don't have any kind of altitude hold at the moment, so if I do let go of the controls, we will actually fall down to the ground again and probably break that container. I don't know if breaking a container actually reduces the reward you get. I'm not sure. I'm actually kind of guessing it doesn't, but anyway, we'll try not to do that. But yeah, we can always add more of these clever systems in the future to improve this thing. I'm not sure how fast it goes actually. I don't have a speed gauge on it yet. We're now on 97-98% battery, so it has increased actually. Temperatures are fine, as you can see, 31 degrees. And fuel, we've used about nearly a quarter of a tank already. So hopefully hopefully we'll make it back. I mean, you know, of course it's easier to fly without a container. It's a bit more efficient and faster. So we could return with a second container to earn more money, but if we don't have enough fuel, we might have to decide not to and add some more fuel for next time. What we can do actually is now we just reduce our generation a little bit here. Maybe put it down to about 50. And see if we can maintain battery, because it will use a bit less fuel. And I believe that island over there in the distance right in front of us is actually Terminal Komodo, so we can see it now. But I'm just a little bit nervous about the fuel situation actually. Here's one of the airports on the left hand side which we could buy. I think this one is actually $90,000. So although we can sort of afford it, we can't really, because if we bought that we wouldn't be able to afford to, you know, spawn anything in. Just a few blocks. So we can't really buy it yet. But we could buy that one, or the other one is I think 120,000. It's exactly the same pretty much on the other side of the Isles. So it's a bit closer to our dock, but yeah, we'll make that decision at another time. And we've still got over half a tank of fuel. We're getting fairly close to Terminal Komodo now. Actually, that island we were looking at was not Terminal Komodo. That's a lighthouse, and the one we are now looking at is Terminal Komodo, because we can see the train tracks there. So yeah, we are now heading towards it, but it's very much in view, and I'm sure it won't be too long to get there. The fastest way for us to travel is just to literally like hold W and full collective at the same time. So that's what I'm doing, and yeah, that gives us the maximum speed. However, we will actually lose a bit of altitude in doing that. So we'll be careful here, but it will ideally save us a bit of fuel. We are losing battery as well, so let's add a bit more to the generators there. What is that? 82%, yeah. So a little bit low, which I'm surprised about actually, but it's mainly because we're carrying this container. All the extra weight is literally draining power, because the rotors are having to work harder and all of that stuff. But we've used just under half a tank and we're almost there now. So I'm not too worried about this. It really does depend as well on how much messing about we're going to do. Like how quickly can we drop this container off, and then we'll try and, you know, park this thing without wasting any fuel and time, because that's what's going to drain our fuel. Sort of sitting in one place doing nothing. So we'll try not to do that. There's the containers just over there. We can see them in the distance. And we can't be more than, I'd say, 2 kilometers away at this point. So how much fuel have we used now? Oh, just over half a tank. Okay, so it's going to be risky to take one back. Very risky indeed. Now, last time, we tried to drop off a container with the truck, and they didn't actually deliver. It's very difficult to find a right location to actually get paid when we drop them off. So I don't know exactly why that was, but after driving around for a bit, we managed to get paid for it. So I'm slightly concerned about how long it's going to take us to deliver these ones. But I guess we have to put them down here at the lower part of this dock area. Because, well, I'm just guessing that, but... because that's where a cargo ship would end up, wouldn't it? Although they might have to transport it onto land. Let's see if we can just get paid for it right here or not. Oh yes, we've done it. Okay, easy. Oh, that was a hard landing. Oh no, it's on fire. Okay, drop it, take off. Right, are we damaged? Let's go and land. Container's on fire. I can't believe I just broke that container. But we got paid for it, right? So that's the trick, right, guys? You know, do a job, get paid for it, and then destroy everything afterwards, and then it's alright. Let's put this down here for a second. And just collect our calmness before carrying on. Right, engine's off. So that's how much fuel we've got left. We've used about 2/3. Alright, so it'd be very risky to actually... be very risky to fly one back. But let's have a look and see what we've got here. The Sawyer South Freight Terminal, which is not that far away. That's where we've come from. $2,000 to get back. Oh, no way. No way. 8,000 for that one. That's going south. 4,000 for that one. 4,000 for that one as well. So that one's going home, and yeah, so it seems to be that we're going to get between sort of $1,000 and $5,000 for going back home with a container. There's a 5,000 one there, and that goes south, but it's 9,000. So we could go to that one, but not on this fuel we couldn't. Okay, so I've come up with a few ideas as to what we can do in future episodes, because of course we will get home with only 500 litres of fuel remaining in the tank, but only if we don't carry a container with us. So here are some options we have for the future. First of all, we could actually buy Terminal Komodo, which costs $80,000, so the benefit of that would be that we get a brand new fuel tank filled to the top with about 26,000 litres of diesel, so every time we come here we could actually just refuel, and there's so much fuel, it'll last forever pretty much. But the downside to that is that I actually kind of want to buy a hangar as well, and they are even more expensive than this place, and so we'll have to do a lot more work to get back up to this amount of money before we can buy the hangar as well. But there are some other options. So the second option I've got here is to deliver a custom fuel container that we can make back at base, bring it over here with the quadcopter and leave it, so every time we get to this island we can refuel with our own fuel container, and therefore we're not spending anywhere near the amount of money that we would by buying this island in the first place. And we could also deliver these fuel containers to different sort of ports as well, so wherever we are delivering a container we can refuel with our own stuff basically. The next option is to just simply increase the fuel capacity on the quadcopter. So, you know, there's a lot we could do with that in mind. We could add, you know, double, triple, maybe even 4 times the amount of fuel that we can carry, but it does add weight. So I think we can definitely do it, but we'll have to be sort of careful about how we go about it, because as we increase the amount of fuel, we'll also have to increase how much power we use, and therefore we're going to be draining more fuel, unless I can figure out a way. Maybe I can change the amount of blades on the rotors to increase efficiency, or change the rotors as well. You know, I haven't done a lot of testing on that side of things yet, so we could make this vehicle a lot more efficient and add more fuel at the same time, but we'll have to do some work and find out how that goes. So those are the 3 sort of immediate options for us in terms of this quadcopter right here. But also, in the grander scheme of things, I quite like the idea of building a big barge, right, which we can take to the Arctic, and we can have the quadcopter on it, but also we can carry containers, maybe like 4 or even 8 or 10 containers at the same time up to the Arctic, and make a ton of money. So a barge is something I'd really like to work towards, as well as of course buying the hangar, which I'm also sort of planning on doing as well. But in that case the quadcopter will be really handy, because we won't need cranes and land vehicles. We can just use the quadcopter to take containers on and off the barge, and use it like that really, as a sort of short range transport just for lifting things about the place. So guys, do let me know if you like any of these ideas, or of course if you've got your own ideas which might be even better or more fun. But certainly at least we have a lot of options here, and I think this first journey with the quadcopter has gone pretty well. But that is the end of today's episode. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I really appreciate it as always. Please do subscribe and give the video a like if you have enjoyed it and you want to see more in the future, but there's always more to come, of course. So thank you so much, take care, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.